Lights, camera, action. Welcome back, movie lovers, to another mind-bending journey through the world of cinema. Ready to dive into the celebrity series explanation? Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Celebrity Episode 1 begins with a woman walking into a restaurant, ordering food, and taking a picture of her work as a social media influencer. You see, a photo can take any business to the next level. This woman's name is Selleobeuriti, and she shares how her curiosity has made her one of South Korea's most influential influencers with 1.3 million followers. She lives la vida loca, which makes his bank account raining, at least it seems so from afar. Selleobeuriti said her life was like a burning trash can before she could enjoy the good life. So how did it manage to compare itself to the best in the business? Grab your popcorn, because she is about to tell us the code. Class is on, folks. You won't believe it, but Selleobeuriti was one of the few people who had almost no social media presence. Toiling away as a door-to-door salesperson for an unknown beauty brand, she didn't feel like pursuing the hottest social influencer feuds. On the other hand, her friend Yoon Jong-sun was enjoying what was happening on social media and pressed Selleobeuriti to tell her everything. At that time, the hottest discussion took place between Binnyamam and Wang Rola, who argued. Rumor has it that the two were friends until Minhye gained more followers and began to despise Binnyamam. The scale of this cyber war has spiraled out of control and has begun to affect the Gaban Society. The Gaban Society is a group of influential people consisting of Yoon Si-hyun, Oh Minhye, Jin Chae-hee, Angela, Gina, Han Yurang, Binnyamam and Wang Rola. Their names got switched during an online dispute and they had to find a solution quickly. They had planned to hold a meeting without Binnyamam but got caught. It seems Binnyamam is the Queen George of the team. As the drama unfolds, an unsuspecting Selleobeuriti visits Yoon Si-hyun's home to sell her wares to the house manager and some of her friends. Then we learn that Selleobeuriti is from a wealthy family who went bankrupt. Since then, he has been working part-time to make ends meet. Unfortunately for her, Yoon Si-hyun returns home earlier than expected and is forced to hide in Si-hyun's dressing room. There, she is shocked to see all the luxurious things that Si-hyun owns. She also overhears a conversation between Si-hyun and her husband, Jin Taejon. Taejon is Chae-hee's brother and he is taken aback by all the online drama his sister keeps bringing up. Chae-hee wanted Taejon to sue Binnyamam for defamation, but Si-hyun felt it was unnecessary. After sneaking out of Si-hyun's house, Selleobeuriti returns home and is greeted by her mother, Lee Hyun-ok. Hyun-ok is not over his money-swimming glory days. She runs a clothing alteration workshop, but she can't resist trying on the luxurious garments of her exclusive clientele. Selleobeuriti has to constantly remind her of her new reality. Later that evening, she creates Instagram out of curiosity about Si-hyun's conversation with her husband. It was the beginning of the end and looking back, Selleobeuriti wonders if she made the right decision that night. The next day, his boss Selleobeuriti asks for a gift for his wife, and she takes Jong-sun with her. Here he reunites with an old high school friend, Oh Minhye. Minhye and Yurang went shopping to recover from their ongoing online argument. Minhye was furious at what Binnyamam allegedly said behind her back on social media. Minhye was determined to pay her, and she didn't mind that she and Binnyamam were friends and Binnyamam helped her grow the brand. Selleobeuriti is shocked to learn that Minhye has become one of the hottest celebrities and can afford to spend 30 million won on a single purchase. Minhye was from a poor family back then, and Selleobeuriti lent her luxury goods, which she had had enough of. Minhye does not know that Selleobeuriti's family went bankrupt and he could no longer attend Ivy League school. He brags to Yurang that he knows someone like Selleobeuriti and Jong-sun stops him from telling the truth. Minhye asks to reconnect with Selleobeuriti and asks for his social media details. Selleobeuriti tells her he's not on social media and Minhye can't believe it. Jong-sun steps in and offers his support on social media, promising to spread the news of Selleobeuriti. Later that night, Minhye tells her husband Kwon Myung-ho that she met Selleobeuriti. he thinks it best to invite Seoul to the party this weekend and give up his date, Biniamom. She believes that Biniamom betrayed her first and that everything is fine during the war. Also, she believes that Seoul will make a big impression because she believes she is rich and has attended an Ivy League school. Jongsun works hard to get Seoul to attend the party, and his mother even suggests that he wear one of her clients' dresses. After much discussion, Seoul's curiosity about how Minhai got so rich is overwhelming. Agree, go to the party and see how your other half is doing, it can't be that bad. Elsewhere, Chae-hee continues to urge her brother Taejon to take on Biniamom's case and put her in prison. Taejon lies that it will come to this, but he just wants to reassure her. Si-hyun dies worrying about Chae-hee's tantrums, but Taejon assures her that she can handle it. There, he notices Han Junkyung but stops Chae-hee from approaching. Chae-hee informs them that Junkyung will be at the party later that evening, and Si-hyun looks surprised. Back to Seoul, she gets ready for the party and wears a luxurious dress from one of her mama's guests. We later learn that this dress belongs to Si-hyun, who's also attending the party. She's the only one in Korea who managed to get the dress. Seoul arrives and runs into Junkyung, who mistakes her for someone different. Seoul thinks he's a backslider and threatens to report him, so Junkyung gives her his phone number. He's surprised by her tenacity and thinks she's intriguing. Seoul is surprised when he willingly gives her his number, so she decides not to report him. She gets into the party and is warmly eaten by Min-hai, who starts boasting about her and introducing her to the Gaben Society. The ladies are impressed by Seoul since she went to an Ivy League academy. Min-hai also lies that she and Seoul were close because both their families were loaded. Before Seoul can say anything, Si-hyun and Chae-hee arrive. Chae-hee notices the dress and questions if it belongs to Si-hyun. Everyone demands to know where she got the dress. Seoul is too flustered to respond, so Si-hyun weighs in and saves her from disturbing herself. Min-hai continues to brag about Seoul, but the ultimate can't take the falsehoods presently. She comes clean about dropping out after her family went void. Soon, the attention of the ladies is turned to Biniamom, who makes a fiery entrance after learning that Min-hai had her banned from the party. Biniamom proceeds to poke Min-hai and call her out for using her for leverage and dumping her after the effects came difficult. Everyone watches, affrighted yet thrilled by the drama, but Seoul weigh in to help Min-hai. Back in the present, the women from the Gaben Society are reeling after learning that Seoul is holding a live videotape and discovering the gossip about them. They call each other in unbelief as they all allow Seoul to be dead. In the live, Seoul comes out and asks if they're scared yet. She mates out one internet stoner in particular, famous. We're left to wonder who she is, and who killed her. Seoul doesn't say but indicates that it's someone alarmed that she's still alive. Episode 2 of Selleobeuriti begins with another masterclass from Seoul on how social media workshops. In particular, she's covering how influencers use their hunger for attention to propel themselves into fame and get plutocrats, power, and influence. That's just how the game is played, and we all end up begrudging the luxurious life these influencers live. What would you do if you got a chance to be the hottest influencer? Would you turn it down or eat life with a big ladle? As Seoul continues to recite in her live, we get to know what choice she made. Back in the present, the Gaben Society is having an improvisational meeting to figure out how Seoul rose from the dead. She is no Lazarus. Did she record the tape recordings before, or is she alive and about to squinch them each over? Si-hyun thinks that Seoul is alive as she's answering and interacting with the followership during the live videotape. All of them can't help but wish Seoul would have just stayed dead. In the meantime, Seoul is having the time of her life interacting with the followership and breaking her silence on her experience. She can imagine how the exposé is affecting her enemies and is ready to unmask further secrets. Through a flashback, we learn what happened the night of the fight between Biniamom and Min-hai. Seoul stepped in and was caught in the wrath of Biniamom, who poured red wine each over her dress. Not only did Seoul poke and pour a drink on Biniamom, but she also dragged her for filth. The ladies of the Real Housewives franchise would be proud. Their relations make Jun Kyung more impressed with Seoulbeuriti, and he's not the only one who notices she's a diamond in the rough. Joo Sun Hyuk from A Pix Communication also notices and introduces himself to Seoulbeuriti. Meanwhile, Si Hyun goes home and asks her maid about the store doing the differences in her dress. On the other hand, Seoulbeuriti and her mama stress over how to clean the precious dress. It isn't like they've 12 million won lying around to pay for the damaged dress. The coming morning, Jun Kyung sets about doing his business, making money, and exercising. We love a man who can multitask. Tae-jeon visits and finds him at an inner climbing gym. Tae-jeon invites him to check out Myung-ho's car dealership store and perhaps buy a new luxurious car. They find Myung-ho trying to calm down a stressed Min-hae who's upset about what went down at the party with Binyamam. Tae-jeon and Jun Kyung have a small talk about the party, and we learn that Jun Kyung and Si Hyun know each other from the council. Still, we get the feeling that there's further to the story then. Jun Kyung tells Tae-jeon that he didn't see Si Hyun at the party since he had to leave before. Coincidentally, Chae-hee, Angela, and Ji-na are icing Min-hae after her fight with Binyamam at the party. Min-hae isn't ready to go down without a fight, so she succumbs to hopeless measures to make it look like all is well with her brand and the girls. On the other side of the city, Jong-sun understands Seoulbeuriti's frustration over the dress but still wants her to post filmland from the party. She figured that Seoulbeuriti could get further followers on her Instagram runner. Seoulbeuriti is surprised to see she has new followers after Min-hae followed her back. As they talk, Seoulbeuriti gets a call from Sung Hyuk and she's surprised that he has her number. Sung Hyuk isn't the only one looking for Seoulbeuriti. Jun Kyung is also trying to track her down. He DMs her but she ignores him, which intrigues the guy further. Seoulbeuriti agrees to meet with Sung Hyuk and thinks he's a weirdo stalking her and wonders why he of all people would be interested in her. She only agreed to meet with him to gauge him and see if he's the real deal. Of course, Sung Hyuk formerly did a background check on her, which pisses off Seoulbeuriti. He tells Seoulbeuriti that she has potential and he can turn her into a social media queen. He throws out Min-hae's name to bait her. After the meeting, Seoulbeuriti returns home and finds Si Hyun at the shop to pick up her dress. Si Hyun had dubiities, but now she was sure that Seoulbeuriti was wearing her dress. Seoulbeuriti and her mama profusely apologize and Seoulbeuriti offers to pay for the damages. Si Hyun declines their offer and tells Seoulbeuriti that she was intending to throw the dress out anyway. Ever the epitome of an elegant lady, Si Hyun gracefully handles the situation. She simply accepts Seoulbeuriti's reason and leaves. In verity, she's affected by what happened to the dress. It reminds her of someone. It was a gift she treasured and she couldn't bear to part with indeed after getting wedded. She heads back home and sees an announcement from Min-hae intimately inviting them to a live stream the coming day. She's roping them in and using social media to make the ladies from Gaebin hang out with her. As anticipated, Chae-hee is ready to cut Min-hae loose and makes as important clear during their improvisational meeting. According to her, there are situations to this game and Min-hae should stick to her lane. Si Hyun disagrees and calls out Chae-hee's sense. She announces that she'll be going and supporting Min-hae. She thinks it'll be better for their image. Chae-hee realizes that Si Hyun has a point but feels like she's always being undermined. Ahead of her live sleuth, Min-hae meets with Seoulbeuriti over a couple of drinks. She's still in unbelief about how the effects turned out in Seoulbeuriti's life. Seoulbeuriti tells her that she does door-to-door deals with beauty products and Min-hae drags her to her exchange. Seoulbeuriti is surprised to see Min-hae's success firsthand. The ladies soon arrive led by Si Hyun and Min-hae puts on an Oscar-good performance acting like everything is cool. She and the ladies look like they're so friendly and tight. Min-hae also takes the chance to introduce Seoulbeuriti to her followers and indeed markets Seoulbeuriti's beauty products. She declares Seoulbeuriti her lately reconnected bestie and how they've each other's backs. After the live videotape, the ladies, banning Si Hyun, try to mock Seoulbeuriti and Min-hae's rearmost trick. They suppose Min-hae is using Seoulbeuriti to distract her followers from her feud with Binyamam. Seoeuri is also not impressed with Min-hae and accuses her of using it to clean her online image. Min-hae is in no position to judge her. She thinks Seoeuri is jealous of her success and calls her delusional for allowing them to be true friends. It turns out Min-hae only liked Seoeuri back in the day because she was rich. Their fates are turned and Min-hae believes it's okay to use Seoeuri. After all, she figures Seoeuri should be thankful she supposed it okay to bless her with her influence. Seoeuri leaves the store shocked and hurt by Min-hae and the fact that Si-hyun undefined their battle. She starts allowing about everything everyone has told her, especially Sung Hyuk. The scene cuts to Seoeuri's ongoing livestream where she's narrating the power of having followers and how some agency creates fake followers. As it turns out, this is what Sung Hyuk has been doing with Min-hae's account. After the feud with Binyamam, Min-hae lost some followers, so she paid Sung Hyuk to produce fake followers for her account. In the end, Seoeuri also points out that it isn't only about gaining followers but getting celebrities to follow you back. In her case, she got lucky and got a coveted connection that fell into her stage without her trying. The show ends with Seoeuri getting a call and being summoned to a police station. There, she finds Jun Kyung and wonders what's going on. Episode 3 of Celebrity begins with the police getting multitudinous calls about Seoeuri's ongoing life sleuths. At this point, Detective Jang Hyun-soo hears that Seoeuri might be alive. He's immediately intrigued and asks his fellow detective if he's sure it's Seoeuri. In a flashback, we go back to the events of the night Seoeuri was summoned to the police station. Jun Kyung was so hopeless to get her attention after she ignored him, that he decided to turn himself in as the suspect in the sexual importunity case she no way reported. Seoeuri thinks that he's trying to intimidate her by proving the extent of his connections, and rips into him. She decides to report him for importunity to prove a point. Seoeuri narrates that her night was going from bad to worse and she felt shitty. Still, that changed when she gets a call from Jong-sun and learned that Min-hae's little marketing trick had caused the trade of their beauty products to shoot. That's also when Seoeuri discovered the bewitching power of social media. The coming day, she's surprised as further deals come through and her master asks why she no way mentioned Min-hae ahead. On the other hand, Jong-sun takes it upon herself to manage Seoeuri's Instagram account, making it look like she stayed at a popular hostel. The account starts taking off as numerous brands and marketing agencies approach Seoeuri online to offer her jobs and backing. This is too important for her to deal with, so she opts to reach out to Sung Hyuk. Away, Si-hyun visits Jun Kyung's mama to ask for her participation and support for her charity event. Jun Kyung's mama happily agrees to help and laments how Jun Kyung lost the chance to marry Si-hyun. She was under the print that Jun Kyung only wanted to be friends with Si-hyun. She was worried when Si-hyun ended up with Taejeon, but she still wants Jun Kyung's company to be involved in the charity event. After her meeting with Sung Hyuk, Seoeuri's mind is open to all the possibilities the influencer's world has to offer. Sung Hyuk gives her a taste of the good life by getting her a makeover and how backing works. All she needs to do is to get further than 10,000 followers and the doors open for her as brands beg for her attention. Seoeuri starts to seriously consider getting an influencer and accepts Sung Hyuk's offer. As Seoeuri gets lessoned by Sung Hyuk, Jun Kyung, Taejeon and Myung-ho meet at Aragon Club. It seems like Myung-ho has struck a deal with Young-tae to scam further people through his luxurious auto dealership store. Jun Kyung tells Taejeon about his little incident at the police with Seoeuri. Taejeon asks him to be careful and offers to call the manager general for him. Myung-ho asks Young-tae to bring them girls, but these annoys Jun Kyung, who leaves immediately. The following day, Sung Hyuk summons Min-hae and makes her an offer to support Seoeuri's career. He believes that they can fix Min-hae's image by chancing a new bestie to replace Binyamam. Min-hae is against the idea, but a girl still got to make money ever. She begrudgingly invites Seoeuri to her coming event. They act as friends for the gram and the plan seems to be working. People start paying attention to Seoeuri and the Gabon society is pissed. Yurang, in particular, is bothered that she'll be replaced as Min-hae's loyal friend. Min Hai is also scared that Seoeuri will come to the coming it girl and tries to demean her when they're alone. During the event, Si-hyun and Seoeuri apologize and thank each other. Latterly that night, Seoeuri posts prints of the events and her followers are curious about her outfit, so she markers the original stores she got them from. Days go by and Si-hyun's charity event eventually happens. The plan is to have her close friends and familiarity bring some of their things to sell and raise money. Seoeuri and Jong-sun are excited to attend and sell their particulars. They packed a lot of stuff in a big wallet and suppose they will do amazing. They arrive there and realize that Min Hai gave them the wrong time. Si-hyun gracefully welcomes them as they drag their big wallet along. It dawns on them that all the particulars in the silent auction are from high-end fashion stores. They start getting embarrassed by the stuff they brought. Jong-sun starts to discharge their particulars on the table, but Seoeuri asks her to stop. She apologizes to Si-hyun and opts to leave incontinently. Everyone is looking at them weirdly since it's clear they feel out of place. The ladies from the Gaben society can indeed be heard loudly mocking them. On the other hand, Jun Kyung is late to the event because he dropped by the police station for the cross-examination of his case with Seoeuri. The operative informs him that Seoeuri didn't wish to see him and had formerly given her a signed victim statement. Jun Kyung is bummed that he won't get to see her. He heads to the party and stumbles upon her falling as she drags her wallet. She was leaving the event in a hurry following the awkward encounter she endured. Jun Kyung reaches out to help her and everyone is left amazed. Jun Kyung followed Seoeuri on social media and saw she'd be at the event. After the event, he relentlessly asks Jun Kyung to tell her how he knows Seoeuri. He refuses to tell her much and Si-hyun joins them for a drink. Seoeuri is also going through the same thing with Jong-sun, who's dying to know. Seoeuri doesn't know what to say and wonders why a chaebol like Jun Kyung would be interested in her. He indeed offers them his car and driver to take them home. Seoeuri gets home and is shocked to see the increase in her followers. Back in the present, Min Hai is reeling from Seoeuri's live sluice. She tells Urang that Seoeuri is intruding on her indeed after her death. Urang asks if she's sure Seoeuri is dead, but before Min Hai can respond, Detective Jang Hyun-soo shows up. He asks to talk to Min Hai and is shocked when Min Hai speaks ill of Seoeuri. Min Hai calls Seoeuri an absolute jealous bitch and insists she doesn't know if Seoeuri is alive. She only knows that everything and anything Seoeuri says in the live stream is a lie. On the other side of the city, Chae-hee and the other ladies are losing it after learning Si-hyun called the police. Si-hyun insists she had to sense his back, there are bound to be questions. Chae-hee asks her how she can take Seoeuri's side when the ultimate screwed her over too. The occasion ends with Seoeuri in the live stream questioning whether she was a bitch as people claim she was. She mentions a post she posted a while back that rocked social media to its core. The post was related to her dislike of the fakeness and hunger for attention on social media. Her choice of words in the post feel like she's calling the Gaben society out. That ignominious post led to an online feud like no other. Episode 4 of Selleobeuriti begins with the ladies of Gaben society doing what they do stylishly, making everyone envious of their perfect lives. They feel like they have perfect marriages, bodies, and careers. According to their posts, life is but a dream you cruise through with the most luxurious products from cars to shoes and bags. Still, in her live stream, Seoeuri questions if some people get turned off by all the bragging influencers do on social media. We circle back to her ignominious post that allegedly called out the Gaben society. Chae-hee demands that Min Hai handles this mess since she was the one who brought Seoeuri to the pack. Seoeuri was taking a threat and laying her future on her 9,124 followers on Instagram. It was after this post that she was communicated by Famous, who dumped her asking to connect. Back in the present, operative Jang Hyun-soo meets with Si-hyun and is surprised by her demeanor. She tells him that she liked that Selleobeuriti was honest, claiming she has no conflict with Selleobeuriti, but that remains to be seen. Through a flashback, we see Hyun returning home after her charity event. As she talks to her hubby, she gets a call from Chai Hee informing her that Selleobeuriti attacked the Gaben Society in her latest post. It seems only Jun Kyung was regaled by Selleobeuriti's post. Indeed, Selleobeuriti's mama is upset about her prodding the hornet nest. The Gaben Society is also taking a mega hit and being mocked online. They had planned live vids, and they worry that the followers will only watch about their response to Selleobeuriti's alleged attack. In the end, they each do the live streams as planned and call out Selleobeuriti, saying she's simply jealous. Min Hai takes it to another position as she dramatically calls out Selleobeuriti in their meeting at Sung Hyok's office. Selleobeuriti simply tells her to calm down and ends their little ruse to act as besties. Airi is also losing followers on her account and Sung Hyok goes into damage control. He thinks Selleobeuriti pushed her luck too far and warns her to anticipate a real shitstorm from Min Hai's followers. After the meeting, Selleobeuriti reaches out to Famous. Taejon hears about the online drama when Myung Ho mentions that he needs to post and show support for his woman online. Hyun doesn't have an Instagram account, so she uses her maid's account to keep up with the drama. Meanwhile, Hyun Ok and Jong Sun takes it upon themselves to defend Selleobeuriti's honor online. Supposedly, a hate account has formerly been formed and the effects are looking bleak. Jong Sun tries to cheer Selleobeuriti by telling her that she still has many people on her side. Selleobeuriti reaches out to Famous again and asks for her help to turn the effects around. In the meantime, Min Hai worries that the Gaben Society is icing her out. Her hubby tries to be supportive, but she only demeans him. As many twinkles latterly, effects take a turn as important online communities show their support for Selleobeuriti. This is thanks to Famous constancy with Selleobeuriti. The nippy change in public opinion saves Selleobeuriti and she gains further followers. The most notable is Jun Kyung, who follows her account. This is big because it's the only account he follows, and that carries some weight in this world. This is great news to Selleobeuriti, but horrible news to Chai Hee. Hyun visits her and asks her to grow up and stop getting angry over Selleobeuriti's opinion. Chai Hee asks her how she can dare to support Selleobeuriti when Jun Kyung is paying her attention. Chai Hee hints that perhaps Jun Kyung is doing it to Selleobeuriti, and that's why he's lavishing her with attention. It's unclear what Chai Hee means, but I suppose she's inferring that Jun Kyung did the same thing with Hyun. Away, Selleobeuriti meets with Jun Kyung to bandy an agreement. She tells him that she's withdrawing her complaint and isn't looking to fight him. Jun Kyung asks why she started the online fight and explains he followed her online out of curiosity. He also admits that he's interested in her. He has a character for dating people below his station, so everyone nicknamed him Princess Maker. Selleobeuriti isn't impressed by his offer to meet as she thinks he's a pretentious spoilt chaebol. The scene cuts to Selleobeuriti during her beginning period as an influencer. We start seeing her trip to stardom through a series of auspices. There are also rumors linking her to Jun Kyung, but we still don't know what her answer to his offer was. Through the flashback, we see that Jun Kyung's company invited her to one of their events. Sung Hyok himself saw to it that Selleobeuriti was invited as one of the influencers. Hyun also attended the event and Taejon had asked her to relay a communication to Jun Kyung. It seems Taejon was bothered that Jun Kyung was investing too much of his time in chasing Selleobeuriti. Min Hai was also in attendance and lost it when she set up out that Selleobeuriti was face-to-face paid to attend. Min Hai was angry that despite having a bigger platform, Hue Cosmetics wasn't paying her. Selleobeuriti asks her to take it up with the company and Min Hai accuses her of luring Jun Kyung. Min Hai wasn't the only one who allowed so, however, the Gaben Society suspected the same. At the party, Selleobeuriti makes a connection with Song Yeon-woo. Yeon-woo is an actress and a friend of Chai Hee. Chai Hee takes it face-to-face when Yeon-woo tries to befriend Selleobeuriti. She starts a fight with Yeonwoo and accuses her of using Seoulbeuriti as a stepping headstone to renew her contract with Jun Kyung's entertainment company. Chae-hee is right, but she didn't have to start a fight over it because of her hurt pride. Si-hyun also supposed the same and tells Jun Kyung as much. Si-hyun asks him to stop playing games with Seoulbeuriti because she's a good person. Si-hyun worries that Seoulbeuriti will get hurt. Jun Kyung argues that she turned out okay despite his little games and insists he was the one who got hurt. As the fight between Chae-hee and Yeonwoo intensifies, Seoulbeuriti weigh in. Seoulbeuriti asks why she acts like a big shot when she can only ride on her family's wealth. Si-hyun intervenes and asks Chae-hee to keep her eyes peeled as she is being watched. Si-hyun quickly escorts Yeonwoo to get changed. Seoulbeuriti also decides to leave and thanks Si-hyun for the help. Si-hyun asks her if they can be friends and connect on social media. Si-hyun eventually opens her particular account, and, of course, Seoulbeuriti is happy to have Si-hyun follow her. The scene cuts to Jun Kyung, Si-hyun and Seoulbeuriti deciding to be friends the night of the event. Did Seoulbeuriti kill Jun Kyung? Back in the present, Seoulbeuriti continues her live sleuth while Si-hyun addresses the operative. She tells them that she wanted to help Seoulbeuriti until the ultimate did commodity wrong. In her live stream, Seoulbeuriti talks about misconstructions that piled up. The Gaben Society members are also doing their live aqueducts while this is going on, averring that Seoulbeuriti is lying and Chae-hee claims that Seoulbeuriti killed a man who did nothing but support her. The episode ends with Seoulbeuriti admitting on her live stream that she's responsible for someone's death. Episode 5 of Selleobeuriti begins with Seoulbeuriti doing another live stream and participating in the secret life of influencers. She's ready to reveal further secrets and needs some alcohol to continue with the coming chapter. This time, Seoulbeuriti is ready to reveal a libelous secret that will unleash the inconceivable. Away, the ladies of the Gaben Society are on legs and needles wondering what Seoulbeuriti will reveal next. They can't fail to figure out a strategy and Min-hye thinks Chae-hee's move to do existent live streams and attack Seoulbeuriti's character backfired on them. Chae-hee loses it and calls Young-tae, asking him to prepare her a room at Aragon Club. Young-tae doesn't suppose it's the perfect time to be getting drunk, but Chae-hee couldn't watch less. Through a flashback, we go back to when Seoulbeuriti was just starting over and her family, Do-sung, had returned from his military investiture. Effects were going great and Hyun-ok couldn't help but be proud of her son who was getting tons of backing goodies and making good money. Seoulbeuriti takes Jong's son to her lunch meeting with Jun Kyung who was under the impression they were meeting alone. Jun Kyung gets angry and insists that Jong's son stays behind while he takes Seoulbeuriti to a different position. Seoulbeuriti thinks he's way out of line and he reminds her that she should keep her commitment per the conditions they agreed on. What in the world is going on between these two? Are they in a contract relationship? They dispute for a while and end up going to Jun Kyung's house to have lunch without Jong's Sunday. Seoulbeuriti is surprised to see that Jun Kyung has someone who helps him take off his shoes. She refuses to eat and straight over tells Jun Kyung that she isn't interested in him. His life isn't a commodity she wants for herself. Jun Kyung takes her review in stride and tells her that he can't change the rules of his world. However, the lady who takes off his shoes would be unemployed if he did. He does have a point there. Nevertheless, Seoulbeuriti turns his offer for a relationship down and walks out. She tells him that he ought to have taken her hint when she brought her friend to lunch. On her way back home, Seoulbeuriti receives a call from Angela asking to meet. They meet and Angela offers to help Seoulbeuriti fix effects with Chae-hee. Angela is trying to be a good Christian and help. She acts like a concerned friend, flattering Seoulbeuriti with praises and many words of wisdom. Seoulbeuriti knows better and takes this charade with a pinch of swab. Still, she agrees with Angela that it won't hurt to be on good terms with everyone including Chae-hee. Meanwhile, Min-hye is angered that Si-hyun is putatively on Seoulbeuriti's side after she followed her on Instagram. After that night, Seoulbeuriti does her exploration of Angela online. Grounded on the rumors online, Angela used to be a call girl and her hubby was one of her guests. There are also rumors that Angela still intimately meets with guests behind her reverse. We start to see what other secrets these ladies are hiding behind the scenes. Gina is rumored to be dealing in fake luxury particulars and Myung Ho is scamming people. Selleobeuriti gets all this libelous information from her new online bestie, Famous. Selleobeuriti tries to get Famous' true identity and why she wanted to help her. Still, Famous refuses to reveal herself. She simply says she's lodging for Selleobeuriti as she deserves to succeed. They bond on how the Gaben society took the easy road to success by cheating or birth privileges, #NepoBabies. Selleobeuriti decides she'll take the long road and succeed honorably. She opts to launch an online Providence shop. She and Jong's son get some amazing clothes from the original stores and start selling them online. Selleobeuriti employs the help of her family to help her take prints and handle the IT side of the effects. The Gaben society is floored that Selleobeuriti is dealing clothes from a wholesaler, Dong Demon. Min Hai thinks that it shows a lack of class and taste, but Selleobeuriti's followers like her for being relatable. In the meantime, he calls Young Tae to plan for her visit to the club the coming day. She shows up the coming day and of course, Young Tae praises her while intimately calling her a wine. He is surprised to see that Angela is also there and she brought Selleobeuriti and Gina along. He thinks Angela is undermining her and throws another hissy. On the other hand, Selleobeuriti is confused because she allowed he wanted to meet. She decides to leave but Angela stops her and tells her she has a great idea. They go back to the room and everyone is formerly high on drugs. He is slightly suitable to indeed stand up straight. She keeps laughing, taking photographs, and rambling effects that don't make sense. Selleobeuriti is surprised as she had no idea that drugs were involved. She confronts Angela for bringing her there and not telling her about the drugs. Angela calls her a party pooper and says they're part of high society so the rules don't apply to them. As belongings get absorbed at the Aragon Club, Jun Kyung and Si Hyun meet at a restaurant alone. Si Hyun thinks it's a bad idea but is curious about what Jun Kyung wants. It turns out Jun Kyung wants her help in winning Selleobeuriti over. Her rejection did nothing to check his interest in her. The talk deviates to their old romantic relationship and Jun Kyung asks Si Hyun why she left with no explanation. He's sure she had her reasons, but now he's interested in Selleobeuriti. Si Hyun tells him that he was wrong, but before they can talk more, Taejon shows up. He's taken suddenly after chancing out that Si Hyun was intimately meeting Jun Kyung, but he tries to keep his calm. Jun Kyung pretends that they were only talking business and smooths it over quickly. It was during their banquet that Si Hyun sees he post a picture on her social media account while high. They quickly drive to the club and Si Hyun tries to get hold of to take down the photograph. The three arrive at the club and Si Hyun tries to get to delete the photograph. Selleobeuriti leaves and runs into Jun Kyung at the door, who's dissatisfied with her. He says he'll also have to turn her down and starts walking down. Selleobeuriti stops him but before they can talk, they hear a laugh from the room. They go back and find one of the men at the party is rendering. Si Hyun says the man isn't breathing as his fellow workers try to resuscitate him. Jun Kyung weigh in to help while Selleobeuriti attempts to call the police. Si Hyun and Taejon stop her and charge the woman for trying to end them all. Taejon takes control of the situation, and he calls for an ambulance to still transfer the man to a hospital. Selleobeuriti keeps averring on calling the police, but Young Tae argues that she'll also be caught up in the storm. It begins to dawn on Selleobeuriti that these people live under different rules, they can get down with anything. They precipitously take the man out of the club through the back door. Episode 6 of Selleobeuriti begins with Detective Jang Hyun-soo talking to his boss man. Hyun-soo wants to look into the drug case that Selleobeuriti mentioned on her live stream. His boss man, Kim Tae-young, is adamantly against it because he's on Taejon's payroll. Unfortunately, Detective Jang Hyun-soo has no evidence and no power to go over his master's head. Through a flashback, we go back to that cataclysmal night. The group snappily took the man into an ambulance staying outdoors. Seoeuri still wanted to call the cops, but Si Hyun prayed her not to and asked her to trust her. Si Hyun also took Chai Hee home while her hubby rushed the man to a secret hospital. He comes back latterly and tells Si Hyun that the man had a temporary shock but will be fine. He's more concerned about Seoeuri calling the police. He feels she isn't in their position and can't understand the precarious situation. In verity, Seoeuri attempts to call the police also changes her mind. This was the first night her runner started taking off and the stakes suddenly got bigger for her. On the other hand, Min Hai assures her hubby that she has a plan to destroy Seoeuri. She's also curious why Chai Hee deleted the print she posted. In the photograph, the commodity seems off and Seoeuri is in it too. She asks her hubby to ask Young-tae what happened. Young-tae lies to him and says that they simply socialized and got too drunk. The coming day, Taejon calls Jun Kyung and they gatecrash Si Hyun's meeting with Seoeuri. Si Hyun only wanted to apologize, but Taejon wants the ultimate to sign an NDA. He arrogantly threatens her, but Seoeuri refuses to sign the papers, and Jun Kyung takes her side. They leave together, but Seoeuri tells Jun Kyung that she's sick of him and doesn't want to spend time with him. Jun Kyung doesn't take no for an answer and follows her on the way out. He asks her to let him cover her. He's sure that Taejon will come for her and the other ladies from the Gaban society. He knows that Seoeuri wants to do effects else and being alive will mean that she'll have a target on her reverse. He's willing to cover for her. Meanwhile, Si Hyun gets pissed with her hubby and takes Seoeuri's side too. As she leaves, she sees Jun Kyung and Seoeuri standing in proximity to one another and she seems to hurt. Taejon also notices that Si Hyun seems bothered by Jun Kyung's relationship with Seoeuri. Many days laterally, Jun Kyung visits Taejon and warns him not to mess with Seoeuri. Jun Kyung is aware that the man from the party is in a coma. Taejon has the man entering treatment at Kim Minchon's plastic surgery clinic. Jun Kyung wants Taejon to clean his mess and leave Seoeuri out of it. Coincidentally, Minchon tries to hide the verity from his woman, Yurang. He bans her from visiting the clinic and Yuchimed begins to wonder why he's acting so strange. Days go by and Seoeuri's runner takes off and her online thrift shop becomes a huge success. The deals keep going up and they all work hard to maintain the business. Sung Hyok is also happy with her success. He calls her for a meeting and Seoeuri tells him that she wants to start her brand in addition to the thrift shop. Sung Hyok thinks she's working too hard but Seoeuri insists she'll take her path. She promises Sung Hyok that she'll succeed but he warns her to be careful. As Seoeuri gets bigger, Chai Hee keeps on hating her success. She wants Seoeuri gone and is also feared that the factuality about the party will come out. Min Hai offers to take Seoeuri out and says that it's only fair she ends Seoeuri. Jong Sun and Seoeuri head to Dong Demon's request and are surprised that the merchandisers can't fulfill their orders. This is part of Min Hai's plan, which communicated with her old friend, Hwang Yuri, who runs Besta Room to mark Seoeuri's order as exclusive. This means that Seoeuri won't be suitable to deliver her clients' orders and they're ruined. The guests keep calling asking for refunds and slamming them. This sets Seoeuri out and she asks Famous for help to handle Hwang Yuri. Outside the request, Park Jae-bae hears about what happened and is shocked to learn that the victim is Seoeuri. It seems he knows her and cares about her. Armed with the information from Famous, Seoeuri visits Besta Room ready to battle with Hwang Yuri. They get into it and Yuri admits that she got the idea from Min Hai. They play a card game and Seoeuri wins. She tells Yuri that she has been laying the quantities the ultimate charges men to sleep with her. Yuri is shocked that Seoeuri knows her secret and realizes that Seoeuri isn't someone she can mess with. Episode 7 of Celebrity picks up where we left off in the last episode with the battle between Yuri and Seoul. Yuri is surprised by Seoul's tenacity. Seoul knows that the battle was a reckless move on her part, but she did what needed to be done. As she leaves Yuri's place, she runs into Park Jae-bae. It turns out Jae-bae used to work for her father and he now runs a small cloth plant. He offers to help them and they reluctantly accept his offer. Seoul reaches out to her former master. Unfortunately, the company closed down after someone reported them for duty illusion. Seoul thinks it's her fault and apologizes. She offers to help her former master vend the remaining products. She's formerly at rock bottom and numbers she's no longer spooked to take pitfalls and see whether it pays off. Her threat does pay off however, and this is a commodity Min-hye failed to see coming. She allowed she had ruined Seoul, but the joke was on her. Seoul rose like a phoenix. Seoul took her time off social media to reorganize and the ladies from the Gaben Society pop out their champagne to celebrate their win. The only one concerned about Seoul was Si-hyun. She had promised Jun Kyung to help find her. Jun Kyung prayed for her to help him and she understood why he was upset. They get a chance to talk about their once, but Si-hyun still refuses to tell him why she ditched him out of the blue. Yurang is upset about her hubby. She shares her concerns with Min-hye and lets slip that Tae-jon called her hubby. Since then, he has been acting weird. Min-hye starts putting the missing pieces together. It turns out that Seoul wasn't lying down still, she was planning and strategizing using the help of famous. Seoul makes her first move by catching Angela red-handed meeting a customer in a hostel room. Angela begs for a chance to save herself and promises to do anything. Seoul asks for Angela's invitation to a coming Balmain event. In the meantime, Yurang's curiosity gets the better of her. She goes through her hubby's bag and finds an NDA regarding the fateful night in the Aragon Club. Night rolls by and the Balmain event starts. The ladies are surprised that Angela is sick and turn down her invitation. They're gobsmacked when Seoul shows up looking like a 7-course feed, however, with her outfit giving like it's supposed to. They also writhe with covetousness when Seoul is given a better seat at the event and indeed ends up catching the attention of a famous model, Choi Bom. He is so furious and jealous, she nearly gets into an accident while throwing one of her endless explosions. She tries to vent to Si-hyun, who asks her to stop her obsession with Seoul. Jun Kyung also attends the event and is relieved to see Seoul in attendance. Throughout the night, he's unfit to take his eyes off her. After the show, Seoul strikes up a discussion with Choi Bom and they bond over their collective taste in fashion. Choi Bom likes Seoul's fashion so much, she ends up raving about it on her social media runner. This was Seoul's plan each on. She studied Choi Bom and her sense of fashion also took alleviation in creating her outfit that day. She had indeed gone through the trouble of asking Sung Hyok to urgently deliver the clothes she needed. As Choi Bom's account blows up, Min-hye and the other ladies lose it formally again. They realize that Seoul won't go down without a fight. The exposure from Choi Bom's account helped Seoul get back into the game. She came back swinging hard and her threat paid off. She brigades up with Jae-bae and launches her clothing line. The deals go through the roof and the money starts coming in. Following the success of her collaboration with her former boss man and her clothing line, Seoul is ready for the big league. She reaches out to Jun Kyung's company and proposes a collaboration. Jun Kyung accepts the offer as he believes in Seoul. After that, he asks Seoul to give him another chance to prove his sincerity. At this point, Seoul is formally infatuated with Jun Kyung. The moment Jun Kyung steals a kiss from her, her walls come crashing down and she gives in, she kisses him back. In her live stream, Seoul questions what that choice led to. She also brings up the choices that Tae-jon made. We see a frantic Min-chan trying to resuscitate the man from the club and Tae-jon getting a call that effects are going off the rails. Episode 8 of Selleobeuriti starts with Seoul on day 5 of her live sleuths. She narrates how the online world can be exhausting with all the unnecessary fuss that comes with it. Through a flashback, we see her doing shows to promote her products and collaboration with Hue Cosmetics. Effects are going well and she can indeed go to rent a new house for her family. Her company is sluggishly rising the species in the fashion world and she's involved heavily in every decision. She has come the darling of numerous luxurious brands and she's at the top of her game. As anticipated, utmost people are happy about her success, but Tae-jon thinks that Seoul is stepping out of her lane. Chase agrees and is pissed that Seoul is getting further auspices and gets to pick effects first before anyone differently. Since the effects are going well, Sung Hyuk suggests that Seoul change her feed and how she's handling demand. Seoul insists on keeping everything the same and isn't interested in making easy money by promoting products she doesn't believe in. Jong-sun tries to side with Sung Hyuk, but Seoul explains that she wants to concentrate on her company. One of Seoul's comments hurts Jong-sun and we start to see that Jong-sun might be jealous of her stylish friend. Latterly that night, Seoul attends another charity event hosted by Si-hyun at the Aragon Club. On the way to the event, Seoul nearly hits a youthful lady who seems distracted as she crosses the road. Luckily, no one is hurt and Seoul proceeds to the event as planned. The media loves her and snappily turns their attention to her, ignoring the other influencers. This annoys Min Hai, who was in the middle of an interview. The party goes easily until Seoul overhears Chai He complaining about how they weren't treated as superstars. Seoul goes up and confronts them, asking why they're so bothered when they used to remind her that she wasn't in their position. She wonders why they can't handle it now that the tables have turned. Formerly again, Chai He loses her cool and tries to attack Seoul but ends up falling and embarrassing herself. Unfortunately, Seoul's dress is ruined and Choi Bom, who's also in attendance, tries to help her. Jong-sun is upset because the dress is sponsored but Seoul says it's fine, she can just buy it. This is when it hits her that perhaps she's changing. In the meantime, Jun Kyung attends the party and runs into Si-hyun. He wants to know why she left him because he doesn't want to repeat the same mistake. As they talk, they eavesdrop on a youthful lady crying and rush to see what's passing. They find Yong-tae and his men trying to drag the lady out. Seoul and Tae-jon are also there since Seoul was on her way out. It turns out the youthful lady is the family of the man who died. She doesn't believe her family committed suicide and wants to know what happened. Yong-tae drags her out on Tae-jon's order and Si-hyun learns the verity. She's floored that Tae-jon lied and tried to cover up someone's death. Meanwhile, Jun Kyung takes Seoul home and she's spooked to ask him for the verity. Jun Kyung insists that she can ask, but she tells him to pull over. Jun Kyung refuses and confesses that he needs her. In other words, he's confessing his passion for her and hopes that one day she'll feel the same. He reaches out for her hands and she doesn't pull down. She might not admit it, but she's opening up to Jun Kyung. In hindsight, Seoul says that being in Jun Kyung's car that night was the last moment of peace she had. That same night, Min Hai continues to probe what happened in Aragon after wiretapping the young girl kicked out at the party. Many nights latterly, Seoul gets a DM from Famous making allegations of ignoring her. Seoul explains that she tried to reach out numerous times, but Famous no way responded. Famous refuses her reason and tries to order Seoul by demanding that she always respond right down to her messages. Seoul finds the request ridiculous and refuses. She tells Famous that it's time to find out her identity and why she keeps doing effects for her. On the other side of the city, Si-hyun meets with Jun Kyung, who confirms that Tae-jon lied and the man passed away. Jun Kyung offers to take care of it, but Si-hyun thinks that would be impossible. Jun Kyung becomes frustrated by Si-hyun averring she can handle everything. Through a flashback, we learn what happens between them in history. Si Hyun and Jun Kyung were confidentially dating and in love. Still, Si Hyun's parents wanted her to marry someone different who could help her father's political campaign. One night, Jun Kyung eavesdropped Si Hyun soliciting her parents to stop, and he pretended to be fine with the situation. He tells her that he's not bothered and believes she has the right to choose. Si Hyun assumes this means that he didn't love or watched for her. Jun Kyung apologizes and explains that he failed to communicate with her. He still asks her to let him deal with Tae-jon. Back to Selleobeuriti, she gets an offer to collaborate with a popular Chinese influencer, Zhang Wei. Jiang Bei convinces her that they can manage the demand and they should go ahead with the collaboration. As this goes on, Famous reaches out to Chai Hee and tries to ally with her to take down Selleobeuriti. She promises to tell Chai Hee how Selleobeuriti managed to get to the top. At the same time, a post on social media claims that someone failed at Minchon's clinic after a wild night out with Chai Hee's cortege. Minchon starts to get afraid when Yurang brings this to his attention. As anticipated, Tae-jon also hears about the post and tries to do damage control. He begins by getting all the posts taken down. Jun Kyung also saw the post and is upset about Selleobeuriti because she's actually in this photograph. He tries to call her but is unfit to connect. As it so happens, Selleobeuriti is a bit busy handling an improvisational late-night visit from a strange woman. Episode 9 of Selleobeuriti picks up where we left off with a strange woman visiting Selleobeuriti at her office late in the night. Ari is confused about who the lady is, but it turns out this is Wang Ro-la flashback to her grand feud with Biniamom in episode 1. In her livestream, Selleobeuriti narrates how people love to watch the downfall of others online. She starts telling us how rumors led to the downfall of many influencers. In the meantime, Chai Hee is stressed out about Selleobeuriti's ongoing livestream and is getting high at the Aragon Club. Min Hai's exchange is closed after Ari revealed many facts about her in the livestream. Min Hai is overwhelmed and turns to capsules as YouTubers continue to report on her downfall. Myung Ho tells her that there's nothing important they can do. Min Hai worries how much further Selleobeuriti will reveal, but Myung Ho tells her that Tae-jon will make sure they're safe. Tae-jon has helped them ahead and is sure that he'll come through again. What did Tae-jon do against Selleobeuriti in favor of Min Hai? Speaking of Tae-jon, he's frustrated that his team has been unfit to locate Ari. He wants to put an end to her livestream, but Jae-hun tells him that the effects are different from 3 months ago when they were suitable to defeat Ari. What happened 3 months ago? Well, Selleobeuriti is about to get to it in her livestream. We circle back to the night Wang Ro-la visited Ari. Ari doesn't entertain her as she gossips about what happened to Biniamom and the Gaben Society. Wang Ro-la tells Selleobeuriti that she's there to advance support and starts quoting some of the effects Famous said to her. Selleobeuriti is taken suddenly and asks if she's Famous, but it seems Wang Ro-la has no idea who that is. How does she know what was said in the converse between Selleobeuriti and Famous? After Wang Ro-la leaves, Selleobeuriti calls Jong-sun and asks her further about Wang Ro-la and Biniamom. Jong-sun tells her that the two used to be friends until Biniamom discovered that Wang Ro-la was living a fake life. She was only renting the luxurious good and she had no real money. Biniamom decided to expose Wang Ro-la online and embarrass her. In return, Wang Ro-la posted the exchanges between her and Biniamom when they were shit-talking the other ladies of the Gaben Society. In the end, the feud led to the downfall of both ladies. As Jong-sun tells her all this, Selleobeuriti realizes that she has been doing the same thing. She used the information she got from Famous to blackmail Yuri and Angela. In the meantime, Chai Hee is eventually seeing her chance to take down Selleobeuriti after allying with Famous. Si Hyun is ignorant of this and asks Chai Hee to stay off social media as they deal with the Aragon Club scandal. On the other hand, Jun Kyung visits Tae-jon and asks him to come clean before people get hurt. As anticipated, Tae-jon takes this as trouble, so Jun Kyung declares war on Tae-jon. Tae-John makes his coming move and sends Young-tae to buy the man's family. Tae-John also ordered them to check if Seoul was the one who leaked the details. Min-hae catches up with Yurang and is surprised that nothing happened to Minchon's clinic. You see, Min-hae was the one who blew the whoosh online about a man dying in the clinic. Yurang tells her that Tae-John handled the situation since it was fake news and he's looking for the person who instigated the drama. Min-hae realizes that her plan backfired and she's in trouble. She calls her hubby and asks him to handle it. As the situation gets tense on social media, Eri is ignorant as the post was formally taken down. Still, she feels preoccupied, and indeed her staff noticed. Eri has no time for drama as Zhang Wei is in the city for their collaboration. Zhang Wei visits the plant and asks if the company can handle 1 million orders. Jiang Bei insists they can and the deal is sealed. Indeed, though Eri is upset that they can't handle similar heavy products in time for the trade stream. During all this, Jun Kyung shows up to support Seoul as their professional and romantic mate. Jong Sun overhears the staff talking about the ongoing rumors, but Hyun Ok accuses her of being jealous of Seoul. She asks Jong Sun to get a grip on reality and stop using Seoul's name on her particular social media account. Jong Sun is offended and points out that she has been working hard for the company as well. Seoul worries if she has the right to success, and Jun Kyung wonders if she's concerned about the incident. He's surprised that Seoul didn't know about the drama unfolding on social media. The drama online isn't only affecting Eri but Hyun too. She decides to ask for a divorce from Tae-John, but he refuses. He tells her that she should know her place because he saved her father's political career. He thinks she's after Jun Kyung, and reveals he knew all along about her history. Hyun tells him that she's leaving him because of the opinions he made that led to a man dying. Hyun heads back to her office and gets a call from Seoul. They agree to meet and Hyun begs Seoul to stay out of it. She thinks Tae-John should take the blame, but Seoul disagrees. She thinks that they were each involved, but Hyun tells her that going public now will only ruin her brand. This makes Seoul conflicted about what to do next. She goes back to her office and catches Jong Sun red-handed hosting the event of a deal for some products she turned down. They get into a fight as Seoul feels betrayed. Jong Sun feels hurt that she can't profit from her notorious friend. She angrily leaves and asks Seoul if she's different from the other influencers she looks down on. The day of Seoul and Zhang Wei's event arrives, but Jong Sun doesn't show up. Before the event, Detective Jang Hyun-soo visits Seoul to ask about the rumors online. Seoul isn't forthcoming about anything and only promises to drop by the station latterly. Operative Jang Hyun-soo leaves, and in hindsight, Seoul regrets her choice that day. The event proceeds as planned and is a huge success. As the live event goes on, Angela and Na feel angry that Seoul is doing well. The products bend out in 5 minutes and they're forced to end the trade live sluice beforehand. The business was so high that the point was set for a few minutes, causing everyone to be scared they failed. Their fears were unwarranted and formally again Seoul proves herself. The team celebrates their palm and indeed Hue Cosmetic secures an offer from Zhang Wei's platoon. After the event, Seoul switches off her phone and goes to the police station. She meets with Operative Jang Hyun-soo and starts discovering everything she knows about the fateful night at the Aragon Club. Occasion 10 of Celebrity starts with Operative Jang Hyun-soo keenly listening to Seoul's statement regarding the incident at the Aragon Club. He questions why Eri came forth and we cut back to the ongoing live sluice before getting a reply to this. Eri is still meaning truth losers and assures us that we're in for one hell of a lift. Through a flashback, we go to the days leading up to Eri's downfall. The ladies of the Gaben Society, except Hyun, are having a meeting at the gym. They're talking about the alliance of Famous and Seoul. Angela chips in that Eri formerly hovered over her and Na snappily asks if the rumors about her being a call girl are true. Not missing a beat, Angela hits back at Ji Na asking about her copycats rumor. They decide that they need to destroy Seoul and Chai he offers to take charge of this. Min Hai points out that Chai he is on a forced social media respite and says she'll take Seoul down. A spa attendant comes in to check if they're ready and they rudely shoot her off. Meanwhile, Seoul meets with Si Hyun and confesses she told the police the verity. She clarifies that she only mentioned her part in the saga. After Seoul lives, Si Hyun calls someone to talk about Seoul. It seems like she called Jun Kyung to give him a heads up that Seoul is in trouble. As anticipated, Taejon is on the case and apprehensive that Seoul spoke to the Bobbies. He asks the police manager to bury the case and shoot operative Jang Hyun-soo to another department. All of operative Jang Hyun-soo's cases are incontinently handed over to someone differently. Of course, operative Jang Hyun-soo asks what brought on this unforeseen transfer and gets into it with his master. Unfortunately, his master wins. Taejon's platoon informs him that Min Hai was the person who posted the original post about the Aragon incident. He decides to use Min Hai to turn Seoul into a scapegoat. Min Hai is blissfully unaware of Taejon's plans and is happy when she's communicated by Famous. They bond over their hate for Seoul and promise to work together. Seoul's platoon is agitated after the success of their collaboration with Zhang Wei. Hyun Ok notices that Zhang's son is pouting and apologizes for what she said previously. Zhang's son also comes across a hate account for Seoul promising to reveal the Ultimate's true character. Hyun Ok immediately calls Seoul, who was at the manufactory, to ask Jeong-bae to halt in-house products for a while. Jeong-bae is curious as to why Seoul would want to do that, but she's unfit to explain further. Jun Kyung arrives as Seoul is talking on the phone to her mama and she realizes that there's trouble. It turns out her exchanges with Famous were altered and shared online. Within this, she's made out to be a villain full of jealous and ambitious plans to screw over her fellow influencers. Social media is on fire and the Gaben Society ladies are happy that everyone is turning against Seoul. Seoul goes through the post and realizes that she in no way says the utmost of the effects posted. She asks Jun Kyung to drive her to Wang Ro LA's office. She confronts Ro La and asks if she's famous. Ro La denies it and mocks Ari for not knowing the real identity of her enemy. She hints that it's doubtless someone close to her but is confident that Ari will no way find them. Jun Kyung patiently waits outdoors, making calls and ordering his team to prepare a press release and swing into damage control. Once Seoul comes out, Jun Kyung promises to continue the coming phase of their collaboration and begs her to let him stand by her side. Ari refuses and asks him to part himself from her so he can save his company. As effects continue to brew online, Sung Hyuk fails to get hold of Seoul while Do Sung tries to use his chops to find the identity of Seoul's trolls. Away, Detective Jang Hyun-soo meets with his fellow detective and hears about the online drama girding Seoul. His fellow detective also informs him that the case has been buried and advises him to stop going after Taejon. Speaking of Taejon, he visits Min Hai and threatens to have her and her hubby arrested for fraud and defamation. Min Hai and Myung Ho appeal to him to spare them, so he makes them a deal. He asks Min Hai to go live and charge Seoul of making her post the fake news about a man dying at the Aragon Club. Min Hai's life coincides with Seoul's live sleuths, where she had just started explaining the rumors around her. She had accepted the blame for working with Famous to hang other influencers and clarified that the exchanges going viral are forged. She was planning to release the real discussion between her and Famous and was about to talk about the Aragon incident when Min Hai also went live. With Min Hai's coming out and openly charging her, Seoul's public image takes an indeed bigger blockbuster. Min Hai's disclosure jewels the social media world and Seoul is shocked by how they turned the verity against her. Hyun Ok is so furious she faints. Si Hyun is also shocked by the turn of events and numbers out that Min Hai was following her hubby's orders. She visits him at the office and confronts him. He doesn't take this argument easily, and Si Hyun tells him that she's done. She had tried to save him some quality and his public image, but she won't do that now. Tae-jon stops her from leaving and demands to know what she means. As they talk, Jun Kyung barges in and informs Tae-jon that he's suing him on behalf of Ari. Tae-jon is surprised and says that they've no case. Jun Kyung tells him that he was also present and he'll give his evidence to the police. Jun Kyung leaves with Si Hyun and she asks to join forces and help Seoul out. Jun Kyung gets in his car and asks his team to prepare the legal team as he's heading to the police station. The police manager calls Tae-jon to inform him of this new development. Tae-jun calls Yong-tae and orders him to kill Jun Kyung. Coincidentally, Jaeong-bae calls Seoul and tells her that the guests are returning their orders and demanding refunds. She promises to head out to the plant soon, but on her way, her family informs her that the police have arrested some of her trolls. Seoul heads to the police station and is shocked beyond words to see Jong-sun there. Ari accidentally drops her phone over Jong-sun's treason and misses the last communication Jun Kyung transferred, assuring her everything will be fine. Unfortunately, nothing is fine. Jun Kyung no way made it to the police station as he ended up in an accident with a truck, which rams into his car. The episode ends with Seoul asking her observers on the live stream if they enjoyed her pain and suffering. Episode 11 of Selleobeuriti starts with Seoul at the police station unfit to believe Jong-sun betrayed her. Do-sung is also surprised and switches out with Jong-sun, promising to make her pay. Seoul tells him that it's meaningless and rushes out. Jong-sun chases after her, trying to explain. Ari asks her how she could do this to her. Seoul was under the impression that she could handle the trolls because they didn't know her. Sadly, it turns out that one of the trolls was her best friend. Ouch. Jong-sun apologizes and tries to explain that she got jealous and stressed out, so she turned to trolling to relieve her stress. Originally, she was happy about Ari's success, but started feeling small as her career bloomed. The hate accounts started making her sense like she was someone, so she kept posting, but latterly stopped. Jong-sun tells her that she's sorry, and after the Aragon incident happened, she started to defend Seoul. We go back to Seoul's live stream and she tells us further about the pain she felt that day. The scene cuts to paramedics rushing Jun Kyung to the hospital, with Si Hyun worriedly following before. Seoul gets a call that someone is dead and we see her crushing her car into a body of water. It seems like she decided to commit suicide, but who's dead? Back in the present, Seoul's live stream is being picked up by mainstream media and everyone wants answers. They want to know if Seoul is still alive and what the police are doing about all the crimes she mentioned in her livestream. Operative Jang Hyun-soo is formerly on the case and badgering his new master to open the case again. His master is inclined to say no, as technically, Seoul was declared dead 3 months ago and there's no evidence. Operative Jang Hyun-soo tells his master that Tae-jon covered up the verity and he has the evidence to prove it. We also see a frantic Tae-jon ordering his staff to shred all documents. He also calls in Jae-hun to ask if they're getting close to changing Seoul's position. Fortunately, their search is yet to bear any fruits. As he talks to Jae-hun, another employee informs him that a search leave for their services has been issued. Seoul gets news that Jun Kyung had an accident and is unconscious. She begs to see him, but Si Hyun tells her she can't. She reads his last communication and breaks down as Si Hyun comforts her. They say when it rains it pours, and Seoul eventually understood this that day. It turns out that Jaeong-bae also committed suicide on that day. He left Seoul a communication explaining that he was sorry and criticized himself for pushing the company too hard. In the letter, he blames his greed for the downfall of the company. The news of Jaeong-bae's suicide hits social media and everyone blames Seoul for his death. The outrage online started to get to Seoul, and with everything differently going on, she started getting suicidal. Of course, her downfall is great news for the likes of Min Hai, who renew her life and continues to market her brand online. This makes Si Hyun pissed as she sees that Min Hai got down with her crimes. She tries to call Seoul but is unable to reach her. Her hubby visits her and he tries to blame Seoul for what happened to Jun Kyung. Si Hyun tells him that Seoul isn't to be aimed and that he's the true criminal in this case. She informs him that she has decided to help Seoul on Jun Kyung's behalf. She let him know that she'll be attesting against him and also getting a divorce. Tae-jeon threatens to release all the substantiation he has against her pater. He believes that he can keep her under control by threatening her with her family. He's taken suddenly when Si Hyun tells him that she's prioritizing herself and is moving on. Back at the hospital, Seoul is eventually allowed to see Jun Kyung. She realizes that she should have confessed her feeling to Jun Kyung when she had a chance. She admits that though she's saying it late, she likes him. We learn that Jun Kyung's surgery was successful and will be recovering. Si Hyun also drops by the hospital and Jun Kyung's mama tells her that Seoul was just at the hospital. Si Hyun tracks Seoul down and finds her on the verge of committing suicide by jumping off the hospital roof. Si Hyun tries to talk her out of it and asks her to remain strong for the people who still need her. Ari blames herself for everyone getting hurt, but Si Hyun tells her she should only bear the responsibility for her own choices, not for other people. We circle back to Seoul's live sleuth as she explains that no one can avoid the consequences of their conduct. It might be delightful to try, but you can't run down from that. In another flashback, we see how Tae-jeon's choices led him to be investigated by the police. He tries to maintain his public image, insisting he's innocent. Still, the police are formally zeroing in on him and his abettor. They get to Mincheon before he manages to flee the country. A shocked Yurang eventually sees the kind of man she married. As the predators circle, Min Hai visits Hyun Ok, who's in captivity after being set up shamefaced by duty illusion. Min Hai wanted to find out whether Seoul is truly dead, but Hyun Ok has no answers for her. Still, in the present, the police and Tae-jeon's platoon coincidentally locate Seoul. Tae-jeon orders his men to go get her and the police rush in to save her. Jun Kyung is alive and also driving to Seoul's locale. He was genius enough to fit an operative in Tae-jeon's team who participated in the locale with him. Seoul also gets an announcement that her locale has been revealed. Luckily, Seoul is set and she texts Si Hyun. Jun Kyung gets to the locale first and proceeds to break down the door. Downward, the police arrest Tae-jeon's men who were being led by Yong Tae. Eventually, Jun Kyung manages to break the door, but in another twist of events, the woman in front of the camera is Jong Sundae. She's using AI technology to look and sound like Ari. She ends the live stream by promising that she won't let her viewers down and will modernize them on what happens coming. In a flashback, we see Seoul 3 months before she was declared dead. She called Si Hyun to say farewell before driving into the water. She asks Si Hyun for one last favor. She asks to be important and notorious enough to be suitable to make everyone pay for what they've done. The occasion ends with her crashing into the water and drowning. Episode 12 of Selleobeuriti begins this finale with a woman walking into a hair salon and getting her hair fixed. She also heads to church and we learn her name is Eun Chai. Her fellow congregation members ask where she has been and she answers that she has just returned from a trip. Who's famous? They head out for lunch and Eun Chai listens to them gossip about Seoul. Since Eun Chai has been out of the country, she does not indicate what has been going on. Her friends snappily fill her in. Night rolls by and we see Eun Chai taking a taxi home and bragging to the driver about her huge mansion. The motorist drops her out there and we anticipate seeing her head into her manse, but rather she walks to a house set to be demolished. The house is in a sad state, filled with cockroaches, rodents, and dirty papers. The only thing precious in the house is a laptop. The woman opens her phone and starts listening to a discussion she recorded during lunch with her friends. It turns out that she's famous and has been using her job at the gym to hear the Gaben society tattling every time they visited. She's obsessed with them and celebrates that Selleobeuriti is dead. Away, news journalists stay outside the police station with bated breath. They want an update on whether the woman they arrested last night was Selleobeuriti. Meanwhile, operative Jang Hyun-soo updates his master that the woman is Jong's son who was being helped by Do-sung. They plan to get people talking about what Tae-jon. Do-sung turned himself in and admits that he wanted vengeance for his family and is glad their plan worked. This was all Selleobeuriti's plan to get justice. Operative Jang Hyun-soo is more curious about the fate of Selleobeuriti. Do-sung and Jong's son claims they don't know if Selleobeuriti is alive because the police no way set up her body. They only wish that she's safe and can see that they're fulfilling her wants. They reveal that Selleobeuriti had one last want. What happens to the Gaben society? Min Hai and her hubby try to sneak out of the country after the arrest of Do-sung, Jong's son, and Min-chan. Still, Yurang snitches on them because she felt betrayed by Min Hai for posting about her hubby's clinic. Indeed, in her downfall, all Min Hai watched about were her luxurious bags. This hurts Yurang more, and she realizes they were no way true friends. Ji Na reveals to her followers that she has been dealing with copycats and apologizes. He is arrested and charged with partaking in lawless anesthetics. Angela is abandoned by her hubby after he finds out that she has been dealing with her body. What happens to Tae-jon? Tae-jon is a man with big pride and believed that he'll get down indeed after Min-chan's confession. His legal platoon wants to argue that he only transported a critical case to the sanitarium, and they want to just everything on Min-chan. Tae-jon is covering his bases and attempts to silence in Jae-hun. The media and the public call for a disquisition to be done into Tae-jon and Famous. The police bring in Tae-jon for questioning and he's adamant that he's innocent. At the time of the interrogation, the police have nothing to charge him on. This soon changes after Young Tae is brought in front of the prosecutor and charged with the tried murder of Jun Kyung. Jae-hun shows up as Young Tae's counsel and has him accept all charges against him. He points out that the real architect was Tae-jon. Tae-jon is shocked when Jun Kyung meets with him at the police station and informs him that he got Jae-hun to switch brigades. Jun Kyung was suitable to find substantiation that Tae-jon was behind his accident. At first, Tae-jon is in denial, but his new reality starts to sink by. He's heading to jail whether he likes it or not. Is Selleobeuriti alive? Yes, Selleobeuriti went into caching after being declared dead and started strategizing how to get revenge and justice. She worked with Do-sung and Jong's son to make the live sleuths and reveal all the secrets the Gaben society and their husbands have been hiding. She also worked on revealing the identity of Famous. How does it end for Famous? As the heat gets turned up on everyone involved in the reproach, Chai starts losing her grip on reality. She has been lying to her co-workers about her name and background. She claims to be from a rich family and only working to get experience. Still, one of her associates doesn't believe this. Latterly, a top personality claiming to be a friend of Si-hyun's visits the gym and requests to be served by Chai. The customer turns out to be Selleobeuriti herself, who confronts Chai for everything she did. Originally Chai is surprised and unfit to say anything. Selleobeuriti tells her that she'll face the same fate of being hated by the public and demands answers. Chai rushes out of the room as Selleobeuriti and Si-hyun follow her. Chai tries to get her effects in the workers' changing room. She's cornered, so she decides to crash the window and jump. She tells Selleobeuriti that she was pissed by all the bragging and senseless spending of influencers. She felt that it was unfair that they had so important money to throw down. After this, she attempts to commit self-murder but survives. Si-hyun says that after she recovers she'll be charged for her crimes. As the police dig into Eun Che's background, they learn that she was getting a remedy for depression. Seoul believes that the only thing that mattered in Eun Che's life was being famous. What about Seoul's family? Aries' mama is released from captivity and is a bit angry that Do Sung and Jong's son hid the fact that Seoul was alive. They also go back to their old house and plan to start new lives. It seems like Jong's son is forgiven and is eaten back into the pack. How does Celebrity end? It's unclear whether Jun Kyung and Airi are together, but Jun Kyung rushed to Seoul's side after learning she's alive. Seoul was surprised that he was awake and happily embraces him. He asked her not to vanish and comforts her. All effects considered, we can assume that they're still in a relationship. Indeed, though the public patiently waits for her return, Seoul refuses to go back to that world. She's ready to leave it all because she understands now how snappily public opinion can change. The series ends with one of the cleansers transferred to clean Eun Che's house, where she finds a tablet in the room. He starts going through it and finds Seoul's addict account. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it enjoyable and informative. Your support means a lot, and I appreciate your engagement. However, I'd love to hear them if you have any feedback or suggestions. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.